Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome to Aus Halal Services episode on harmonizing halal, the importance of halal auditing. There are many issues that need to be addressed in the halal industry, especially in the current situation in Australia. A halal certification process involves inspection of products and manufacturing premises by a specific halal authority. Each one of these authority has its own guidelines or standard criteria, and the frequency of their inspection varies between the authorities. Sometimes they are called certification bodies. Their inspection frequency can range between an annual inspection to maybe every 2 years. In some cases, inspection is only done on a consignment basis, meaning on every production day or maybe on a delivery. However, this is not considered transparent enough to give complete assurance to Muslim consumers who are very particular about what they consume, especially when the producer or the owner of the manufacturing establishment is not a Muslim. The presence of various certification bodies or halal authorities sometimes create confusion to producers who might not know which authority to consult in order to get their product certified for the right market. This confusion not only exists between countries but also within a country, as recognition between certification bodies and authorities does not exist. In some countries, issuing of halal certification is done by a local government, and sometimes they are done by Islamic centers or Islamic organizations. There is a particular need to harmonize and develop a workable, flexible system that can be adopted by any halal certification body. The system will emphasize the role of the manufacturer in establishing the halal system, and will meet demands by both manufacturers and consumers. Creating a controlled halal inspection protocol would then facilitate the auditing process between auditors and manufacturers locally and globally. This protocol would establish a common platform in auditing systems for international exchange and halal trading. The existence of such a protocol would enhance the development of the global halal hub as the focal point for halal trade and services. Commercial slaughtering and food production requires a more formalized certification process for halal inspection and certification than food which is going to be prepared and consumed at the retail end. In non-Muslim countries, there are various certification agencies and certification bodies that issue halal certification, particularly when the products are for wider export distribution to Muslim countries. However, there is an increasing trend for local government departments to take charge of halal certification in view of the increasing demand of export of halal goods. In particular, the governments of the Southeast Asian nations of Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei, and now includes the Philippines have established institutions specifically for halal certification. The major issue arising is that there is no standard certification between these bodies, resulting in some doubt about halal claims being made on the label of products. The existence of several halal certification bodies or halal authorities complicates trying to standardize halal certification. Different authorities are seen on product labels of the increasing number of halal products in the market. The authorities might differ on a particular brand as a result of globalization and manufacturing contracts in different parts of the world. The issue of multiple authorities is not only common between countries, but also within a particular country. In Australia particularly, there is no consistent authority that manages the standardization of halal between states. Being a non-Muslim majority, the certification is done individually by various Islamic groups and associations. Between the different states in Australia, they do not recognize certification between themselves. and each follow their individual guidelines and interpretation of the Holy Quran and Hadith, further complicating matters. However, what is common among them is a basic exercise of site visits performed for certification, even though each one of the methods may be doubtful. What is missing is a common implementation procedure for auditing. For the benefit of all Muslim consumers, the halal auditing procedure should be common to all certification authorities in order to develop a global standard. The protocol involved in the auditing process should be universal, while the local interpretation and fatwa could still be incorporated, provided that the integrity of the halal status is maintained and the interpretation is not in self-interest. The acceptance of a common auditing protocol should be regarded as a common language and a starting point for a formalized Muslim standard for halal trade agreed by all parties. It will form the basis of a standard auditing practice. The acceptance of a common auditing protocol should be regarded as a common language and a starting point for a formalized Muslim standard for halal trade agreed by all parties. It will form the basis of a standard auditing practice whereby the auditors will have or be able to develop a common checklist and auditing plan in their routine certification duties. There is great difference between inspection and auditing. While inspection validates a specific halal process during inspection, auditing looks at evidence of compliance operating outside inspection times. This approach will reduce auditing time and avoid unnecessary delays in issuing certificates, making it more industry-friendly to meet the ever-changing and increasing needs of the manufacturing sectors. In developing a system of implementation for a harmonized auditing system, we are not reinventing halal, but how we are implementing it. Harmonizing halal auditing requires the development of a specific inspection protocol to cover all aspects of product manufacturing. It is not just mere inspection of the ingredients to be incorporated into the manufactured product, but also emphasis on the entire handling process right from the point of procurement to the final delivery of product to the right consumer. This is the rationale of employing the right auditor with knowledge of sciences in food production as well as religion. This is more critical in modern-day food production that involves packaging, novelty foods, genetically modified products, and newly developed additives for food preservatives, emulsifiers, conditioners, and stabilizers. With sufficient understanding of food and goods production, we are able to identify specific elements in the entire production cycle to formulate a system for implementation of the auditing protocol. Only then will the system be able to establish a monitoring plan to validate and verify halal status of a product or system. The major elements that affect halal status includes ingredients used in the product formulation, trained manpower, machinery and equipment used in the operation, the operation and handling process, and the environmental factors needs to be considered in order for the halal auditing protocol to be developed. With the knowledge of these critical elements being monitored by halal auditing, we could provide documented evidence of halal compliance in manufacturing to be used for auditing by various authorities. In this way, the manufacturer will be in line with the auditor and be well prepared before auditing is done. It is thus a show of commitment to the halal program by the manufacturer, and at the same provides assurance and transparency to the consumers. A proposed step for developing a controlled halal inspection protocol includes establishment of an in-house trained halal team, declaration of all ingredients and materials used, determine the process flow, analysis and identification of control inspection points, establish monitoring procedures and corrective action, records and documentation, verification and monitoring schedule. Thus, the establishment of harmonization auditing system provides a platform for international halal trading. It forms a transparent system of halal auditing, giving assurance to consumers worldwide. The present confusion on multiple halal logos issued by various state authorities needs to be streamlined and at the same time maintain the individual rights to carry out auditing within their respective status. Hence, a harmonized halal auditing system could form a model for others to follow, especially in Australia. It will become the trade center for halal businesses and provide assistance for development of inter-regional trade and a sourcing center for halal raw materials. The spin-off from this halal management will be the services provided to other halal hubs in terms of training, monitoring, and certification. The rationalization of the halal management auditing system will form a platform for a trusted and integral part of the halal management in Australia.